I grew up in a small village in Ghana, surrounded by thick forests and rolling hills. Life was simple. People farmed during the day, gathered around fires at night, and told stories passed down for generations. But there was one story that everyone whispered about in hushed tones. No one knew exactly where the drum was, but the sound would echo through the village on certain nights, just past midnight. A deep, rhythmic boom boom boom, steady like a heartbeat. The elders warned us never to follow the sound, never to try and find the drum. It is not meant for the living, my grandmother would say. But one night, my cousin Kofi and I decided to do exactly what we were told not to. We had always been curious, and at 16, we thought we were old enough to handle anything. So when we heard the drum that night, we slipped out of our huts, careful not to wake anyone, and followed the sound. The village was quiet, the only light coming from the moon. The drumbeat was steady, calling us deeper into the forest. As we walked, the air grew colder. The trees seemed taller, their branches stretching like arms trying to stop us. But we kept going. Then suddenly the drumming stopped. We froze. The silence was heavier than the sound had been. Kofi grabbed my arm. Maybe we should go back. I wanted to agree, but before I could answer, we heard something, a whisper, low and raspy, coming from the darkness. Who comes? We turned to run, but a shadow moved between the trees. A figure stepped forward, barely visible in the moonlight. It was tall and draped in old, tattered cloth, holding a drum carved from dark wood. The figure raised its hands, and the drum beat again, boom, boom, boom. I felt something cold crawl up my spine. Kofi pulled me back. Run. We bolted. Branches whipped against our faces. Roots threatened to trip us. But we didn't stop. The drum kept playing behind us, louder and faster, as if chasing us. When we finally reached the village, we collapsed near the entrance, gasping for breath. The drumming stopped. The night was silent again. The next morning, we told my grandmother what had happened. Instead of scolding us, she just shook her head.
"You are lucky," she said.
The drum is played by those who have passed on. They call to the living, searching for someone to join them. We never went near that forest again. And every time I hear the drum at night, I shut my eyes and pray it is not calling my name.